Thanks very much, Chairman. And I want to thank Martina and Mary for their opening statements. Regrettably, I want to ask questions once again about an issue which is very prominent in my own constituency, and that is the shortage of autism special classes at primary level in the Dublin 6, 6W and Dublin 4 areas, Chairman. I'm going to just preface these questions by giving the committee some of the statistics here, because it would be known that the average autism special class places at a national level is around one place for every 100 students. Unfortunately, in the Dublin 4, 6 and 6W area, it's 7 times lower than that, and the average is about 0.154%. And what I'd really like to ask Mary or Martina is, what are the proposed timelines to resolve the lack of provision in the Dublin 4, 6 and 6W area, as it's an area that stands out markedly differently to the rest of the country when you look at the number of ASD classes provided in that area?
Okay, who wants to take that?
I might respond to that question first.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you. In 2018, the NCSE recognised that there was a shortage, 2019, that we had a shortage of special class places in South Dublin. And we advised the department our opinion of this. As part of our work in this area, we examined all of the primary schools in South Dublin and looked at which schools would be in a position with the available space within their accommodation to provide autism special classes in the short term to respond to that immediate need. We'd identified 39 schools spread across the various areas in South Dublin. To date, a number of these schools have open classes. A further number are working to establish special classes, and a number continue in the process. Generally, schools do respond to our request to open special classes and are very positive in terms of the engagement with local CNOs. It is important to recognise that for some schools, particularly in built-up areas of cities in particular, may simply have insufficient space within the school environment. It may be that they are an oversubscribed school who are using all available classrooms for classroom purposes and have no space on which to expand the school in terms of the external provision.
Okay, Mary, just can I come back to you on that? I'm aware of the 37A process that applied to South Dublin. But I suppose the problem is when you look at South Dublin as an entity, the problem isn't as pronounced because the percentage of ASD places per student population in South Dublin is around 0.7%. But then South Dublin, if you narrow it down to Dublin 4, 6 and 6W, as I say to you, it comes down to 0.154%. So I think we need a more focused audit as opposed to an audit generally on South Dublin, looking at the specific areas, because the objective here is to allow kids to go to local schools. Can I just ask you in respect of the Section 37A process, do we think it's a robust process that is providing consistent results, or is there not an ability within it for a large number of primary schools to, I suppose, avoid engaging in because there haven't been site visits there before a decision is made?
Deputy, as I said at the outset, we had examined all of the primary schools in South Dublin and looked at the available space within all of them. In particular to the postal districts that you referenced, a number of schools were identified as part of that process, and some schools there are establishing special classes for the coming school year. We continue to engage with all schools in areas where there is a continued identified shortage, and we continue to work to establish special classes in those areas.
Okay, you're correct in terms of what you said, and I just want to commend the schools. Star to Sea are doing it from next September. School Rira are doing it from next September. They're both in Dublin 4. But I, with another of other local TDs, visited other schools in the area. For instance, the National School Boys School in Ringsend and the Girls School in Ringsend would be prepared to go along with this, but they need to be given, I suppose, the funding to construct ASD classrooms. What is the process for that? There are two schools that want to provide ASD classrooms, but they're just wondering what is the process and can that be expedited for them?
As always, we're really pleased to hear schools who are wanting to establish special classes to respond to the need in their area. Where schools have insufficient accommodation within the existing infrastructure of their school, it is open to the school to apply to the Department of Education for additional accommodation in order to provide that special class.
Okay, and just to confirm, in respect of new school building projects, do I take it now that all new school building projects will include within it provision of ASD classrooms?
My understanding is that new school buildings will include accommodation for special classes, but one of my colleagues from the department may wish to confirm that.
From the building,
like to come in from the department?
Have we someone from the building section there?
Deputy, I can come in. There's Eamon Murty here from the Planning and Building Unit. So the policy is for any new school building approved, we do make provision for the appropriate accommodation for SEND provision at both primary and post-primary level, where circumstances require that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, Chairman.
Okay.
I think my 6 minutes are up.
Thank you very much, Deputy O'Callaghan.